bust down. You know what I'm saying? You had to make the middle part, and you had to make all of this, and you did all of this stuff to appease them. And then next day you coming in with your fro, and you wonder why somebody's like,
same.
What'd you do with that? Did you add water?
Same.
I feel good right now, like in this moment. It is not this kind of podcast, but whatever other things also make you feel really good. You want to do that before your interview too?
Whatever you need to do.
I think that's a wonderful life choice.
Set off.
Baby.
Come on.
What? Can't nobody do like you, baby. That's the most important thing that I want you to take from this. So what's good? What's happening? My name is Shaque'l. I am better known as your favorite six-figure chick. This is your favorite six-figure chick podcast, and I am here with Gina.
Hi, everyone. I am Gina, your program coordinator. And
look, I need you to understand that you are what's going to make or break your experience when it comes to interviewing. Being your authentic self, because no one else can do what you do like you do it. But as Black women, we've been told, I gotta talk different. I gotta sit like this. I gotta not have my hair like that. I gotta not wear my hoop earrings. I gotta take my rings off. I can't tell you the number of comments that I've gotten that are like, you wear those nails in your interview?
Yep.
And somebody hired you? Did. For a lot of money.
and will every time. Like, I'm not changing
for
no.
a lot of money.
No.
Or the most recent comment I think somebody did was like, I can't believe, I can tell them tattoos and your nails, there's no way you're making $150,000.
I seen that comment. I was like, y'all lucky I'm not no entrepreneur, CEO, because I would cut y'all out twofold.
Every time
and I'd be like,
how do I hold my shit together? Not because these motherfuckers out, because I definitely be wanting to. But like everybody, my whole point is just like, I dress like this and I look like this and I present myself like this because this is how I dress. Mm-hmm. And this is what I look like. If you were to catch me at the airport, catch me out having a drink, at dinner, whatever, this is what I look like. This Absolutely. Is what I sound like. And people will sometimes say like, you know, Shaque'l, you're speaking from a place of privilege. Like you're an entrepreneur now. You have all this money. You can do something. One, thank you so much for speaking wealth into my life. But I looked like this and I sounded like this and I presented like this in interviews well before Absolutely. I was making money. When I was struggling to find a job 4 years ago and I'm ready to leave my job right now. I need a new job. I remember saying in a job interview that I didn't code switch. And someone asked me, they said, well, how do you talk to white people? And I realized today I could have sued their ass.
Could have.
I fucked up.
You did. You could have sued them at the
Bro, what's a little sound? Players fuck up. Players fuck up all the time,
They
man.
do.
Players
They do. Like I talk to you just like I'm talking to you now.
I talk to everybody like this. Like people love this. This
just
is
because
exactly,
you're white don't mean I'm not gonna talk to you just like
right. So
else.
I know you do a lot of work in the law enforcement space, which is a little different than tech, right? Tech and corporate has this like kind of air of young and vibrant. You know, it's just where everybody's woke now, whatever that means to whomever it means, whatever to. But working for the government is not like that at all.
It's not. It's not.
It is not like that at all. So how do you feel going into interviews? Like, how do you still feel like you like allow yourself to be authentic when you come into these spaces?
So it's funny. I don't know if I asked you this, but I asked somebody. I was like, hey, I think it's when I had my hair red.
Yeah.
Remember? I had my hair red and I was going in for 2 interviews. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, should I dye my hair black? I asked you, I was like, hey, should I dye my hair back black? Because I feel like going into the law enforcement field, you can't be like outrageous. Mm-hmm. And he was like, no, I'll keep it. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm just go in. So I went in, like my first interview was cool, like dope. Like the panel, like as she explained on another episode, it was people who looked like me. Mm-hmm. It was Black people of color. Mm-hmm. No old white men, no old white women. Yeah. I was just like, oh my God, love me. Even though I sat in a room in the middle of them and they sat out there, I was like, all right, how do I breathe? And so they were like, oh my God, we love you. We have one more interview, but we want to offer you a job. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. Next interview, wasn't so lucky. I was like, as soon as I went in there, I was like, you know what?
Let me
my
see
hair's
that.
red. I was like, my hair's red. I'm like, I got to get some stuff in order.
Yeah.
Felt like I bombed that interview immediately. Yeah. I was like, oh my God.
What does your interviewer look like?
Old white men.
Okay. All right.
So I had old white men on this side, Hispanic dude on this side, probably about like mid 30s. I had HR lady, she was white. And then I had older white men on this side. Yeah. I'm sitting at the table. I'm like, okay, have my nails on longer than this. had, I was reserved and like my jewelry and everything, but my hair was still red. I was like, automatically, they're going to be like, no.
They're going to be absolutely
They're going to be like, no. And that happens like in the law enforcement field. Like I remember when I worked at the jail, like this older Black lady came up to me. She was like, do you know you were supposed to have one ring on each finger? Mind you, I had about 4.
I was like, baby.
No, like that never.
I ain't never heard that before in my life.
I was like, no. It was like, oh, it's
like, have you read the handbook? Mm-hmm.
It was like, you read the handbook? It's part of our policy. I was like, yeah, but I'm not worried about you. Like, no. It was like, oh, why you wear blue lipstick? Why is it purple? I said, why is your makeup done every day? I'm like,
because I want to look like this.
I want to look like this.
But that's a part of it too. Is like, I only want to bring my authentic self to interviews so that I don't wind up somewhere like that. I don't want to be somewhere that's now like, why you do your hair like that? Why you do your nails like that? Why does your makeup? Why does your like? We're not about to do this.
Absolutely,
we're not about to do this every single day. I'm not going to have this conversation with you over and over and over. And like places, let me tell you something. Leverage. They say they want DEI efforts. Cool. Actual DEI then. Let me see what it looks like in action.
Absolutely.
I'm not the Black Harvard grad. Okay. I am not I don't fit the like people oftentimes companies, and this is like a little tangent, but companies will like truly like, we want DEI, and then what they mean is like, we want like a version of a non-white person who reminds us of a white person.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna do that. If you said you wanted true DEI, then I got you. I got you Black as fuck, queer as fuck, tall as fuck, thick as fuck. Like we
all the above. Like,
baby, I am giving every single thing that like I can, but it's like, I want to work places that like celebrate what that looks like, and like allows like that space. And so I don't want people in interviews to hide themselves. We talk about being your like best authentic self. It's not just being authentic. It's like, I wear a bonnet every day, so I'm gonna wear my bonnet in an interview. Don't you fucking dare. Like, good and goddamn well. I wear do-rag. I wear do-rag all the time. Y'all probably gonna see it on one of these episodes of me wearing this damn do-rag. I wear do-rag all the time. All the time. It's velvet. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. But it's just like, for an interview, I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna take it off because like, this is me putting my like best authentic self forward. And so it doesn't necessarily, when I say that phrasing, people love to be like, I compare all the time getting a job to dating. Like, you got to do the thing, right? We're going on the first date. That's the recruiter call. We're going on the second date. We're deciding if we want to like go out for real boyfriend, girlfriend. That's the job offer. Like everything about like the interview process like looks like dating. And so it's just like, you want to bring your best authentic self to a date, but you don't want to be so not like yourself that this person can't identify whether or not they like you.
Absolutely.
Because if you are being a totally different person,
no,
I don't even know you.
No.
I don't even know you. I don't even know who you are. And then now you're mad that you start the job and Brenda keeps asking you why your hair changed. Did your hair grow overnight? Like, and you're confused.
All the time.
This is because you showed up here like this. You showed up in a fucking 30-inch bust down. You know what I'm saying? You had to make the middle part and you had to make all of this, and you did all of this stuff to appease them. And then next day you coming in with your fro and you wonder why somebody's like,
same.
What'd you do with that? Did you add water?
Same. Same. That happened to me at one of my jobs. Like, I was like, oh my God, your hair is so big. I was like, can I touch? Absolutely not. You remember in school that she was like, can I touch your hair? Absolutely not. And then at that time, I had a fade.
Fuck not.
I had a fade. I had a Fantasia. And she was like, oh, she didn't even ask. She was like, I was like, what? That was like 2010 Gina. Yeah. 2010 Gina, probably not like 2024 Gina. It's like a different person. And thank God.
Like, y'all are welcome.
Y'all are welcome for this.
Let me tell you something.
Was a beast. Let me tell you. I'm like, no, not touch my hair.
I told y'all, look, you got to negotiate in that petting fee that they don't want to do when you Black. You're just like, hey, let me negotiate this into my salary. I just think about stuff like that. It's like, you want to be authentic. And then depending on what role you're doing.
Yes.
So for any of my, Black women out there that are sellers, because we are great fucking sellers, like, this is what sets you apart from other people. Like, no one can do you like you do. You're going to be more confident in your interviews when you're just being yourself. Because if not, you're trying to remember, like, how do I place my hands and, where does this thing go? And what do I do? And does this look okay? I'm not worried about none of that shit in an interview. I'm over like, Baby, what's up? How you doing?
Yes.
Oh my God, it's so good to see you today. Like, this is great. Girl, I love that. What? Because this is just what I sound like. And it's just what I do. And I don't have to remember my cue. I don't have to, we were just talking about this earlier, people being real nervous because it's their first time like on a stage, right? And they're looking down for their cue and their spot on the floor. They're reading something out of their hands. It's because it feels so unnatural and so uncomfortable. And it's like, hey, how can you be as comfortable as possible in this interview process? By being your fucking self. Talk in a tone that feels good to you. Like, just what is smiling and things like feel like for you. If you're not a person that's like all day, then like don't smile. Just fucking don't. Like, don't look like you want to murder people, but like just have some sort of in between. There's gotta be somewhere, like, you know, to like have in between. I think too, authenticity comes out in interview questions and answers.
It does.
It does. You know, when you ask somebody, it's like, hey, how you doing today? And everybody's like, well, good. And you? And it's like, that's for passing and like the HEB or like the Walmart or something, right? But when we're in an interview, this is a great time for you to share your personality and to connect with the other person and like offer them something up. So I always make the joke or the commentary that like everybody loves dogs. Anybody who has a dog, fucking like
me. I love my dog.
Bro, she got a dog. Her sister got a dog.
I truly do.
My mama got a dog. Like,
truly.
Everyone who has dogs. And so, like, I always know that, like, that's something I'm going to bring up in my interview process. Yes. I don't have a dog at all.
You used to?
I used to have a dog, right? And I used to have a Chihuahua. And so I always, like, talk about the fact that, like, everybody has a Chihuahua story. Like, everybody has a Chihuahua story. I know it for a fact. So I'll always bring up like, okay, dude, let me tell you what, you know, she was doing. And she went to this dog and she was getting all up in his face and and then she running scared, wound up underneath the car, shaking and just trembling like this underneath the car. Because you know, like people know the Chihuahua shake. Like you know it.
It's like that nervous shake. I'm like,
yes, you know the Chihuahua shake, man.
Shaking. I'm like, well, you all right? Like, do you need some chill medicine? Because I got something.
So like, baby, like I'll always bring up something to do with like dogs. So when people are like, you know, hey, like how are you doing today? I was like, you know, I'm doing okay. You know, it's to be honest, it's been a really long day and I've been really nervous about this interview, but I took my time. I got prepared in order to like blow off some steam earlier. My best friend, she's my roommate. She has an 85-pound, pit bull. And so I took her for a walk and we get to the park and this Chihuahua runs up because you know how Chihuahuas are, right? Like, you know how they are. Chihuahua runs up, starts going off and Bailey's just in here like, girl, I'm not worried about you. Like, you know what I mean? But the second I say that, people are like, oh, the dog and there's dogs. But I did all of that because like I chose to like talk in a way and be comfortable and like share something with them instead of being like, I'm good.
And you? And be like, okay, and you good in what?
An interview is a conversation.
Like what?
You got to make it a conversation. It should sound like a conversation you're having with just anybody. It should flow like naturally, but you got to offer up that like authenticity. Absolutely. I love finding that like companies have like female like leadership.
I love that.
Black leadership, because I'm going to bring it up.
I am.
How many times have you been asked in an interview, hey, why do you want to work here? And then all they ever have to say, all anybody's like, it's a great company. I've seen, you seen what?
You seen what?
What'd you see? What research did you do? Exactly. Like, why do you want to be here? Yes. And you can connect that back. When you think about values, like you were talking about looking up the values of the company, right? The mission of the company. That is a great answer for why I want to work here. It's a great answer for why you're a good fit for, like, when, that's another question that'll come up often is like, why do you think you're the best fit for this role? And it's like, I'm the best fit for this role because like I exhibit this particular thing. Yes. I have a passion for doing insert whatever thing is like aligned with, their mission, all of these. So it's like, this is how you answer questions that make you stand out, because everybody says, well, I heard the culture's great and y'all have wonderful benefits. It looks like a really cool place to work. You were on, what's the damn place? It's like built in, but they do like top 2020 or top 2024 place to work or whatever. It's like that. It's like, okay, so what do you know about my company? Like, what do you know about what it is that we do?
What do you know?
So it helps you answer questions better, but it also helps you ask better ones, because interviews are a conversation and they're a two-way street. So are you asking questions that truly like answer? Like, if I only see male leadership, like executive leadership, if I only see male leadership, a question that I'm going to ask is like, hey, so, y'all mentioned that diversity, equity, inclusion is like really important to y'all, and y'all are excited about, working with like marginalized communities and things of that sort. But I noticed that your leadership team is primarily white and male. Have there been any conversations or communications internally about like opportunities to change that? What does growth from within this company look like for people who aren't men? You see what I'm saying?
I love
so
that.
Like you get to ask questions that are actually a little bit more custom.
Yes, I love
versus
that.
What's the culture like?
Yeah.
What's your day to day like? Who's your ideal person? Like, it's because people, everybody asks that shit. I want you to ask something different. Absolutely. I want you to do something different because that's what's going to make you stand out. Mm-hmm. Because so many times people don't ask any questions at all. Please do not ever say you don't have. I don't give a damn if you ask them what their favorite color is.
Like, do you have any?
You have a question.
Questions about
you
the
do.
Business? Oh,
you
do?
Have a question every single time.
Every time.
At minimum,
every time.
Tell me more about your day to day. I don't know what it is like. There's, you know what I mean. Like, but you always have questions because it shows interest. It shows interest in the company, and that's a really big, a really really big piece. I will tell people wherever you are, whatever's legal in your state. Okay, we live in Texas, and so in Texas we're one party like recording state, so I can record something, and as long as I know it's recording, I don't have to tell anybody else in the room. And so you can. I have my phone, I don't know where it is, but I have a pop socket on the back of my phone, and so I put that on my laptop next to the camera on my laptop, and I'll record myself interviewing, so that way I can go back and look. What did I look like? What did I sound like? They asked me this question. I thought I answered it great. But then I go back and listen to it, and I'm like, where did you go with that? Like, what?
Nothing.
They asked you what your favorite color was, and you started talking about water bottles. And I don't know how we got. Like, you'll see, because like in the moment, you think you did so good.
You think you did so good.
Oh, killed it. And then like you listen to it, you're like, that was weird. Like, I don't think that's what it was. So I love to record interviews. And so like, if it's something that you could do like where you are, then I always do suggest like to record interviews, see what you look like. So many people don't know what their faces look like when they just have to sit and talk for a long time. Like we've done call center work. And so we know the whole like smile, they can hear it through the phone. Like we've seen the thing. So it's like very easy to like, it's like, okay, like this is just naturally like what my face does. Mm-hmm. But if you haven't, we work with a lot of people who transition careers, right? Absolutely. So like if you're coming from like a warehouse, if you are coming from working in back office, somewhere where people aren't quite seeing your face, then you're not used to like, I have to remember to do this thing. And so then you're like, I'm so happy to be here.
Be like,
I'm very excited. I think it's
be like, are you?
Job.
Like truly. Like I didn't shut down completely. Like adjusting energy.
They're going to completely adjust. Right. Absolutely. But I'm a seller. And so as a seller, I can read a room really quickly and be like, okay, how do I have to like, adjust like where my energy level is at? Right. Not my tone, not how I'm presenting, but just where my energy level is. But I'm going to bring, you're going to have to meet me, baby.
You're going to have to bring me
You're going to have to meet me.
Yes.
Like we're not about to do this. You're going to have to come up here and meet me. And like people love that. It's like, yo, you're a breath of fresh air. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. That's exactly what we were going for. So like that being a thing too is like, if you're nervous, it's obvious that you're nervous. You're gonna make everybody else nervous. You don't want to be here. I can tell you don't want to be here. Mm-hmm. Like take interviews when they feel good for you. So if you're having a real bad day, hey, can we reschedule this?
Yes.
I you know what I mean? I want to bring my best authentic self to this interview. And today's been a really hard day for me, if I'm being honest. Would you mind if we reschedule this to tomorrow? And that's not always going to work. People are not always going to be okay with that. But I would rather you bring your best self to a situation than to do an interview and then be frustrated with like all of the energy and the effort like wasted. Like I be sweating, y'all. I be sweating. So y'all be watching these episodes, and y'all like, why she ain't never got no arms?
No arms in her clothes.
That's why.
Be like, that's why.
I get nervous be like, so easily. Like, oh my goodness. But people don't notice it, right? Like people aren't like, oh, you seem like you're nervous. Like I never get that response from people.
You never do.
But I be sweating. And so it's just like, yo, like it's like you've done all these things. You worked yourself all up. Like you're doing something like just to not have a great interview because you knew you didn't feel good before you got here. You knew you weren't in your best like so. And so like what can you do to make your day better leading up to your interview? Like take a nap.
Please take a nap.
Take a nap.
Please.
Drink plenty of water. Right? Go for a walk.
Absolutely.
Get outside. You need some fresh air, some sunlight. We were just talking about that earlier. Like, hey, I need sun to touch my skin.
We can't, where is the sunlight?
Man,
we don't got it.
I need the sun to touch my skin. But it makes a world of like difference, like how you're feeling. Only have good conversations. If your mama be pissing you off, don't answer.
Don't talk to your mama that day.
Just talk later.
She can wait. She can wait.
She'll be all right. This is like, how can we schedule these at the right time? Your sister be doing a little something. No, baby.
No,
not right now. What do you enjoy? So like, I love ice cream. So like, I have ice cream before I have an interview or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of some birria tacos. Oh, so baby, let me get a good meal that just feels good. Yes. Like light a candle. You like people think shit like this is crazy, but it's just like this is your moment.
Absolutely.
You got past all of these people who applied like today. There are literally thousands of people applying to jobs and not hearing back from them
at all.
So you made it to this point. How can we have the best possible experience that we want to have? Absolutely. And like, I think it leads with authenticity. Like, I need you to be your best authentic self first, but then how do you set yourself up for success? And it's the research that you mentioned earlier. It is, how do I feel good right now? Like in this moment, it is not this kind of podcast, but whatever other things also make you feel really good. You want to do that before your interview too?
Whatever you need to do.
I think that's a wonderful life choice.
Set off,
baby.
Come on.
What? Do it. Like, hey, I just like, ma'am, you are smiling. It is a good day today. Like, how are you feeling?
Good day today.
This was super great. I hope that y'all have had a fantastic time. I hope we are, getting rid of the Sunday scaries, but nonetheless, I want to see you back here next Sunday for another 6-Figure Sunday with us. I hope y'all have a fantastic day. Bye, y'all.